Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm Melly. And um, Randy is, oh boy, she has got hail, tornadoes, everything at her doorstep, and she's still cleaning up from the last bit. I told her, just go do what you need to do, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the show. Now, we had a train derailment in Pennsylvania. Karen and Susan, is this close to you? Um, there was a big concern. I had many messages sent this morning that this train derailed with toxic chemicals. Now, were you guys close to this? So we have a Be Safe Randy. Yes. Um, she's still cleaning up from the last storm. Now, I thank God we didn't get hit. Everything seemed to fizzle. Thank God. I don't know if I could do with another week of power outages, trees down, lines down, and AT&T didn't even come and clean their stuff up yet. Yeah. Um. So it's not near Susan. Now, get this. I went to see The Sound of Freedom this last week, and this is something that I know Karen was real strong on it yesterday. I talked to her for a couple hours, and she was like, "Listen to me, Ellie. Listen to me, Ellie. Uh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I went to the doctor, and I'm bruised." Now, what it was is, how often do you go to the movie theater and you got to climb to get into your seats? Climb over feet, I'm talking about. And I was only the third and fourth seat. I tried to get as close to the aisle as I could. And the ladies that were there, I'm going to say in their 70s, they didn't move their feet. So I had to climb over foot. And I got to the third foot, which had been the first foot of the lady in the second seat. When I went to climb over her foot, she lifted it and I tripped. I know my hand touched the guy's head in front of us. I grabbed his head. My popcorn fell to the ground. I twisted. So I hurt my knee. I hurt my finger, my hand, my wrist, my elbow, my shoulder. So I went in and this morning and had it looked at, and I'm fine. Bruised up. The doctor said if I would have hit the cement floors, it would have been way different. So I'm bruised up, but I enjoyed the movie. Now, this is justice for all. So, folks, you just don't know who you're going to climb over to get to your seat. Are they going to move their feet? Are they going to be rude? I'm deciding that I need to be in the handicap aisle where there's plenty of room and I don't have to climb over people. Now, these women must have done something wrong because the people behind them were very vindictive. And the lady's cane ended up in the back, in the row behind us. So I didn't do it. My husband didn't do it. Um, so somebody behind us pulled that cane. And there was other things happening. Um, so these ladies must have really pissed somebody off. Um, and I don't want to dwell on it, but I'm okay. Mary's been asking about it. I couldn't move my arm Saturday at all, part of Sunday. Um, and it was my finger, the knuckles across my hand, my thumb, my wrist, my elbow, and my shoulder. Now the only thing that hurts is my shoulder. He pulled and twisted and pushed and prodded and everything, and X-rays came back okay. Um, uh, you know, um, well, the theaters are too cold, Karen. I have to wear like sweaters in there. They could, but they have to have the cooling units for the projectors. Karen was mentioning, I'll throw it up here. Um, uh, or cutting off AC inside. Uh, People should stand up and let people through. It doesn't really help to stand up. There's not that much room. If they would just pull their feet in, all you got to do is pull your feet in, and people can walk straight through. Um, And that's what normally everybody does. But these women did not want to move their feet. Now, was it deliberate or was it an accident? Now, if it was me and someone tripped over my foot that I couldn't move, now I lost half my popcorn. So what? But she should have at least said sorry. Can I pay for that? Offered something, but she didn't. She just said my boot was in the way. So, was it on purpose or was it an accident? I'm going to take it. I'm a nice person. I'm nice. I didn't get her name. I didn't make her pay for popcorn. I didn't go off on her. I sat in my seat and I hurt through the whole movie. I went home and hurt. Uh, and I ate the rest of the popcorn. But to me, if it would have been me, I would have offered to pay for some popcorn. I dropped my popcorn. I dropped my purse. Um, I would have offered some assistance or something to cover what I'd done if it was me. But not everybody's like that. We're now in a world of, they don't care. They just don't care. Uh, so, so what about being catfished at the hotels? That's just as bad, folks. You know, um, you look at the pictures online and you see this beautiful hotel, beautiful, and this one woman did, and she can't believe how she got catfished, and that's what it's called, I guess. I'm gonna say she just got screwed over, and she got to the hotel and it showed these beautiful pictures of a beautiful room with a beautiful balcony that led all the way across, a dinette set, a beautiful bathroom. And what did she end up with? Generic. She ended up with a hotel with a bed. The balcony was probably 3, 4 feet long. It wasn't a nice balcony. So, how many times have we been catfished where we've looked online and seen something that should have been, and when we show up, it's not what we thought. Now, and the other one is being things stolen. It's a part of the catfish. You leave your stuff in your hotel, you leave and you come back, and something isn't right. And then you find out you have things missing. Well, it did happen with me, and it was really odd because, and I wish Randy was on because she had quite a few stories of of her rooms that she seen how beautiful it was. They had it set up for someone that was handicapped. It was a walk-in shower, and they ended up with the tub shower. So the handicapped guy that couldn't do a walk-in, that had to have a walk-in shower, got a tub shower unit. So it did him no good. Now with me, we had been snowed in basically in Tennessee. So instead of being snowed in at the hotel, I would rather be snowed in at my brother's where I could visit. And when we came back, they had emptied our room and said, "Oh, we thought you left." They took probably, and it's just not much, probably about $30, $40 worth of stuff. And I said, "What happened to it?" And they said they threw it away. I said, "No, I don't think so. That was brand new towels, brand new pillows, uh, curling iron, and some other stuff. Yeah, I always got to have a curling iron for her hair. And I had to buy a new one. So they took this stuff. Now I left enough stuff there that said, we're going to come back. They took it upon themselves to say we left and checked out. Thank God we didn't come back with someone in our room. But then, I had to go get another pillow. I had to get other stuff, toothbrushes, toothpaste, uh, wash rags. I lost wash rags. I lost towels. I lost, because if you ever been to the motel and you go in and you're like, they got a towel this big. And you're like, and I'm going to dry my what off with it, and you dry your hair and you got another little hand towel, you dry your body and that's it. And then someone else needs a shower. Why do they do that? It's catfished. Yeah, you've been catfished. So, I do want to show you guys some of these pictures because, you got to take a look at see um, what this lady was offered, because there's a big difference between what you think you're going to get. Um, so there's the room, kind of. Now, there's the dining room with a beautiful balcony, and of course she got. Oh, yeah, a little desk, a small TV, a bed, and a 3-foot balcony. That's what she got. Now, isn't that false advertisement? I would have been back up at the desk going, "Hey, wait a minute now. What happened to the balcony? And what happened to the beautiful dining room that disappeared that I'm paying for? You got catfished. You got catfished. You know, you have to really think about. Now, here's the bathroom that it had a tub shower combo, but they were talking this big, nice, big bathroom, deluxe with 2 sinks and a jacuzzi type hot tub, and she got in there and yeah, she got something. So she got catfished. She got catfished. Yeah. Oh boy. And Randy has some good ones. I wish she would have been on today. So, what about the Donner Party? Now I know you guys seen the title, the Donner Party. Now, if you don't know about the Donner Party, I mean it's odd. Many people do know. They were traveling in a caravan, and some of them went north to go through Oregon and then go down into California. Others had went to straight across. And when they got to the Sierra Nevadas, it was the worst storm of the century, they say. 10, 12, 14, 16 foot of snow in the Sierra Nevadas. And there they were stuck. The Donner family, many other families, and they resorted to cannibalism. Now you say, well, what's this got to do with anything? Well, um, many people showed up. There was a sign put up. It says Donner Lake, exit one. I think it's 150. And it's okay. I mean, it's a sign that says Donner Lake, but it's a sign below it. Many people showed up and said they were horrified. It gave them nightmares. How dare them? How dare them put this sign up? How dare them horrify and give them nightmares? This was the worst the city council, the mayor, and the town of Donner could ever do to its people. Not only that, but then we had visitors show up. And what they said, they were horrified. They had to cover their children's eyes because of this sign. What was the sign? I know you guys are wondering what the sign is. It's horrible, folks. It's so horrible, it gave people nightmares, they say. There was 50 on one of a city council and close to 100 on the other one. And they lined up and said how horrible this was. How dare them do this? What is a sign? Yeah, I know you guys are wondering. Okay, here's the sign. But I wish I could make it bigger. Can you guys see it? Well, it says Donner Lake next exit, and it's got a food sign. It's got a knife and a fork. How dare them put a knife and a fork under this sign? After this Donner Party was known as cannibalism. Okay, start laughing, folks. Because when I looked at it, because I read the article first and I was like, what did they do? I'm from California. I've been to Donner Lake. And I looked at it and they said, it should have said services next exit. You don't serve a knife and a fork when people ate people. What do you think? Um, Susan said cannibalism. Yikes. Um, what do you think, Susan? Should they have put a knife and a fork and terrorized the town? Gave them nightmares. They were horrified. They were terrorized. Their kids couldn't sleep because of the knife and the fork on the sign. Oh boy. City council had to pull it down and put another sign up with quite a few gas stations. You know the signs. They do gas stations. They do, hey, McDonald's is here, Burger King's here, and service is here. They had to do that. Knife and a fork, not acceptable. Wow. So put your thoughts in our comments. Boy, are they? I don't. I didn't. If I wouldn't have had the circle around that part of the sign, I wouldn't have even thought. Okay, there's places to eat next town, but I didn't think of it as cannibalism. Wow. Uh, so city council, the mayor caved, and they put up services. Next stop. No, no, no knife, no fork. No, we're not going to eat each other. It kind of reminds me of the guy that you remember a couple months ago, and I know I did the article on it, where this guy was on marijuana and he got mad at the guy at the bus stop and he was eating his face. And so the cop showed up. The cop had to shoot him, and he wouldn't stop. So they thought he was on some type of drug, and he wasn't on drugs. When the autopsy came up, because the cop had to kill him, there was nothing in um, his drug, um, um, the findings of the drugs to show that he was on anything but marijuana. But he wanted to eat this guy's face. I call them the zombies, and knowing this guy didn't have nothing, he was willing to eat the face of someone else. Was he hungry? We don't know. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Uh, Now in Maryland, okay, and I'm not sure if I've done this story before, but this is worthwhile to bring it back. Now in Maryland, this lawyer of all things uh, ran didn't basically run a stop sign. What it was is he was speeding, and also there was a stop sign, and he went through it. He didn't hurt nobody, but the city cameras caught him running the stop sign, and so they sent him a ticket for $100. Now this would be fine if um, he said he would have accepted it, being a lawyer. He would have paid the ticket. The problem is, not only didn't he see the stop sign, he didn't see the speed limit sign. So he was going over the speed limit, according to the cameras, and he had ran a stop sign. Now, he took this to court to fight it. And how? Because when he went back and looked at it again, he thought, I wouldn't have run that. I wouldn't have sped. And when he looked, the stop sign and tree or speed limit was um, covered by a tree, so he couldn't see it. Now, normally you would go back to the rule of law. Now, you guys think about this. When the rule of law of driving, if you can't see the speed limit, it's always the rule of law of 25 miles per hour when you enter a city limit. That's just rule of law. Well, he didn't think about that, and he was speeding, and he didn't see the stop sign. He didn't see the speed limit, so he got $100 ticket. Now he took it as far as the district court, the highest courts of Maryland and D.C. And finally, the judge said, if you can't see it, How would he have known? And he went ahead and he dropped his fine down to, I think it was like $15. But it was the fact that he should have done the rule of law with the speeding ticket. Now, if you have in your town, because this goes for all of us, I'm guilty. I don't have a speed limit on my street, but my tree hangs all the way over into the street, and people do hit it. We finally got the limb cut down, but when you according to the law now, if you can't see the speed limit sign or a traffic light or a stop sign due to it's obstructed by trees or other signs, yeah, you could fight this and win it. And it just opened up all new uh, um, those that are claiming the same thing. But you got to have really good pictures, folks. I mean, if you now get this, if let's say there's a speed limit sign, but it's got all these other signs, turn this way or the highway's this way, jump, this is a highway and you go this way for, let's say, where I'm at, Little Rock, this way for Fort Smith and speed limit and all that. Now, you're supposed to be keeping your eye on the road. And if it's too congested with signs, you could beat the ticket. This guy did. Now, granted, he's a lawyer, and judges don't take kindly. But when he went and took pictures and videos, compared to and under Freedom of Information Act, asked for the police officers and the camera, because we all got cameras on lights now, and everything, asked for everything under Freedom of Information Act. The judge had to side with this lawyer or this plaintiff that the tree covered up the stop sign altogether. The tree covered up the speed limit. So everybody says, well, what about all them lines? You should know to stop or yield. Well, if there's no traffic, you just go through. It's still, if you go through a stop sign, or a stop sign law is a stop sign law. Now, there was also up in Virginia, they had the same problem, so they raised the sign up. The sign was so high, people couldn't see it. And there was a lady that was 62 years old that she took it in, she told the judge this, and she took a picture of it, or her daughter did, and then had it printed out and she gave it to the judge. And the judge was very happy that she did this, because the sign is supposed to be a certain height, and it wasn't. They put it above the trees. So code enforcement for city didn't go in and cut the trees. They just put the sign up higher, above what it should have been, and it was considered, it was obstructed. So if you get one of them tickets, keep an eye on, these cameras now. They're putting on the poles, they're putting all over town. And if your sign is obstructed, you could beat the ticket. Oh boy. So, now the next one, this is, I did the thing on the fishing with the weights, people putting weights into the fish. What happens when your fish gets bit? This was on CBS. It was on CNN. It was on NBC. Everybody ran this story. And it was a marlin. And the guy knew this was a big one. And he reeled it in. He took it in. And soon as he took it out of the boat, the judges knew. And they told him, you can't have a bite out of the fish. It disqualifies it. Now, I went and looked at the qualifications for this. And yes, if it is mangled or bit, or the fish, part of the fish isn't there, it is disqualified. Now, this guy got really angry. He got real angry. And then because he had a 600-pound fish, marlin, the winning one was close to 500. And of course, they got the 3 mil. And he tried to take the city and the Derby to court to show that he had the winning fish. And this is a law that was, it's not too old. It was put in the 80s. Now, is it fair? Now, he was saying, well, what about fish before, between 1980 and now? Did any of them have a bite out of it? And was it acceptable? They find out no. And he still wasn't happy. He said he had the winning fish. He may have at 600 pounds, but there are so many rules when you join these fishing derbies. There's a weight limit. There's your hooks, your bait, your boat, your time, the fish. Some fish can't even touch the bottom of the boat. If they touch the boat, it's a disqualification. So you just got to beware. And it's just really sad. This guy had over 600 pound marlin, and because the shark bit it, he lost out on $3 million. Wow. It was on CBS, folks. It was on CBS to CNN. And so now the next one, this is, um, oh boy. I'll look at my notes now. I got notes and I got stuff on the other side. Um, and my pages are stuck. Um, so now this next one, folks, HOAs, and I'm going to just briefly touch on it. I'll have the whole story. I'm going to have to do this next week. What happens when you buy a house on the edge of an HOA and it doesn't match all the subdivision? Should you have to pay, even though it is part of it? And should this be a part of the buyer's? The buyer should notify you that you are part of an HOA. Now, this one gentleman had moved in and he was on the edge. And he didn't pay because he said he was never told, because his house wasn't part of the same type of housing as a subdivision. So he didn't think that he had to pay. Well, a couple months went by and HOA showed up his house and said, you got $300 accrued for fees since you moved in. And he said, well, I didn't know I was part of the HOA. And what have you done to say that I need to pay you $300? Well, it did start a protest and the police officers showed up. But the thing is folks, my brother, when he moved in Tennessee, HOA showed up and they were still unloading boxes. They were still getting boxes off the truck. HOA was there and said, here's the rules. Oh, you can't do this. You can't have that. You can't have that out there. That's not allowed. My brother had to make special arrangements to get rid of things. Otherwise, he would have been fined. Now, I don't know if you belong to an HOA, but to me, you have to take a long, hard look to see what they have done with this money. Because a lot of them, the head of the HOA and the people in the office, it's a split. And they take the money. And there's what they're supposed to maintain. Maintain what? A gate? Cameras? Sometimes there's a field house, swimming pool, and recreational things. Would make sense. But does it take 100 to 1,000 per per household to maintain. I think the HOA needs to be looked at and investigated to see if they're up on the up and up. So, anyway, folks, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, Justice for All. Some got justice, some didn't today. Some many questions. But share the show, subscribe. Justice for All is I think it's an interesting show, and I think it's going to go somewhere because we're truth and news. And the thing about it is, this is a subject that is very popular on YouTube. Now I'm working on doing a balloon show for you guys. And my sister said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm working on a balloon show. I want to show you how to do some simple balloons for your grandkids, your kids, and the smile it brings." Now my granddaughter's birthday is this week, and of course I always do balloon stuff for her, and it totally amazes her. But not only do I give them the little doggy, and I'll give them a sword and a flower. Depends on who it is, but I show them how to make it. So, all right, so stay tuned for the balloon show. It's coming up quick. All right, so with that, subscribe, hit the like button, the thumbs up. Yeah, do that thumb thing. Smash the like button, share and follow, and tell everybody about Investigator News. This is a great show. So we will see you all next week. And prayers for Wendy that her property isn't messed up. She had a tree on her house. She had limbs all over. This last storm, it was just as bad. She just barely got it cleaned up. And she said she had a tree that still had to be moved, a tree limb, and now she's looking at another storm hitting. I couldn't imagine this. I still try and clean up from my storm, and we still don't. Our internet isn't working right, as well as my neighbors of about 5 blocks. All right, folks. So we will see you next week if you're looking for Justice for All. If not, come on back. William's got his show in about 20, 25 minutes. And I think he has a lot to say today. I'll be right in there with him. And so with that, subscribe, hit the like button, share, share, share. And we will see you either tomorrow for the weather and lifestyle news, or the news. Now, just an add in, a 7.2 to a 7.4 hit Alaska. And I haven't been able to see all the damage. I did post it, but not on YouTube. Dutch Sense has got a really good show on it on YouTube, so go watch it. If not, on Facebook, I've got the clip for Dutch Sense and an article on the earthquake. But Alaska did have a 7.2 to a 7.4 earthquake over the weekend. So take care, and we'll see you in a few minutes.